If you've been dreaming of opening that business, you should start the process. Don't try to figure out how to make the business make $1 million. Just start the process. See, if you make one step, he'll make two, but he can't make his two unless you make your one. So you got to start.
Every time someone tells me I can't do something, I laugh. So you must not know who you're talking to.
Let's go. You brats! Hey y'all, come spend the day with me as a contractor, engineer, real estate developer, and owner of my own construction company. So today we have two big things on the list to do. I'm headed to one of the job sites so we can start prepping for the footing. So that we're doing around 11 o'clock. It's right now, what time is it? It's right now 7:12 a.m. I just showered and all that stuff. And I'm actually about to start working on the podcast. I have 2 episodes that I just scheduled with 2 different entrepreneurs. One is a dentist. She owns her own practice, her own business. So she's gonna be my first interviewer. I scheduled her for, well, not first because this is episode 3, but she's going to be the next interviewee per se. I'm going to be interviewing her next Friday. So I think it was June 12th we agreed on. And so if y'all are new here and you don't know nothing about the podcast, it's called Crowning Capital, where we're talking about building generational wealth, creating a legacy, leaving an empire, talking about financial freedom, ownership, and all of this through entrepreneurship. So I'm bringing in female entrepreneurs because I have a whole bunch of different female entrepreneurs that I know are around the city that are going to come in, and we're going to chat about building generational wealth, their entrepreneur journey, and, you know, just for motivation, inspiring the people, give people real life advice if they want to be entrepreneurs, if they're in the middle of the process, you know, beginning stages, what they need to be focused on, and not just, we always talk about the money. We're always talking about money, and people start talking about, you know, materialistic things, but I think wealth is so much bigger than the material, the cars, the houses, the going shopping every day, and it's so much bigger than that. Financial freedom is bigger than that. Wealth is bigger than that. When you talk about generational wealth, all of that is bigger than that. Okay, a lot of it has to do with knowledge as well that we don't really talk about. Everybody talks about passing down, all these things, but you're not talking about passing down the knowledge of how you got those things. And that's how you end up with, you see one generation building a whole bunch of wealth, okay, and the next generation just squander it because you didn't teach them the value of it. You didn't teach them what all you had to go through to get that wealth and the true meaning behind it and what it's really worth. And so the next generation don't know that, so they just squander it. Especially when you start talking about entrepreneurship in our community, a lot of people, like I said, they're focused on the money, how much income is coming in and all that, but to actually build generational wealth, it's not just about the cash coming in, okay? What are we doing with the cash? We're going to be talking about what wealth is, how to build it, how to protect it, because a lot of people won't tell you about how to protect it, because when you do build up that wealth, you do need something, you need to protect it. That's kind of the gist of what the podcast is about. My goal in this was trying to get us as women entrepreneurs or aspiring women entrepreneurs to start thinking about generational wealth. Start thinking about how you can pass this down to the next generation. Don't just build a business up to be this grand thing, and then when you pass away, it's just gone. Your legacy and your business should outlive you if you've done it right. I'm rambling, but today, as far as the podcast goes, I need to finalize the panel questions for my next 2 interviews. So like I said, on next Friday, we got the dentist, and then on the following Monday, I can't remember the date, but the following Monday, I have a woman coming in that owns her own hair business. She sells hair. And in addition to that, she's also a realtor. So she's coming in because she can give 2 different perspectives. And because I wanted to not only have the traditional jobs in there, I wanted to have people who didn't go the traditional route of going to college and getting degrees and like stages they are in their entrepreneur journey, because seeing somebody at the end of their journey and seeing everything they got going on sometimes doesn't help or make you feel great about your journey, especially if you're just starting out. It can make you feel intimidated. I want to have a different range of people in all different stages of their entrepreneur journey. But I need to send off the questions to both of those interviewees that are going to be coming on the podcast, but I have to finalize these freaking questions. So some of the questions I'm going to recycle from what I did in episode 1, because I want those to be my questions, foundational questions that I ask everybody that comes on to the podcast. Because even though it's the same question, it's going to be completely different answers, because those foundational questions are just questions about their entrepreneur journey, and everybody's journey is going to be different. So even though I'm asking those same foundational questions, we're gonna get all different responses. But in addition to that, I want to add in some questions specific to their industry to make it a little different for each person that comes. So all the questions every episode is not the complete same. That's what I'm about to do, finalize these questions for each person, send it off to them so that they have it ahead of time to prepare. So right now it'll be a week out if I send it today. So that should be good enough. Let me do this because I've talked way longer than I'm supposed to. All right, y'all. So these are all the questions I had for the first episode of the panel. And I had so many freaking questions, y'all. We didn't even get to it and it was still hella long. But I also had multiple panelists on the first one, and that's how I realized like I'm not gonna be able to have all these panelists if I want the videos to be as short as I'm kind of like aiming for them to be. So I organized them in like categories, and it kind of went from beginning to end to their journey and how the questions were, you know, set up. So we have origin and mindset. What inspired you to become an entrepreneur? Was there a defining moment when you shifted from making money to building wealth? You know, questions like that. So let me see what the other questions are that we're working with. I'm gonna figure out some industry questions and then just look at those and look at these and compare. But first, let me go ahead and get that list of industry questions. All right, y'all, we just made it to the lots. So right now we're preparing to stake out the house for the footing people to come. We're just getting that ready now. So in other words, staking out is basically us outlining the footprint of the house, where the house is going to sit. Okay, y'all, so it's 2 to 3 days later and the footing people are here digging for the footing, obviously. So the type of footing we're doing on this particular project is a trench footing, which is very common down here. I know it's different for a lot of different areas, different states. Sometimes you have to use, well, majority of times you have to use formwork, but for this type of footing, you just pour the concrete into the trench that you have dug. So that's what they're doing right now, digging up that trench, and then they're going to put the rebar in there and using the rebar chairs, and they're going to set that whole thing up so we can pour concrete, and then you'll put the blocks on and so on and so forth. All right, y'all, so it's actually been 2 days since y'all last saw me. So Friday we went to Jackson, because Jackson is actually where this specific property is, Jackson, Tennessee. So like I told y'all before, a lot of our affordable housing lots that we got ourselves is going to be in Memphis, and we live in Nashville, so we're going to be traveling a lot. None of the work we're doing right now is actually in Nashville, even though we live in Nashville. So we have one house in Jackson that y'all saw is a client of ours house. So we're working with a client. So Jackson is where they're building this house, and they're building to sell. So Friday, me, my dad, my mom, and my brother all went out there, 2 hours away from Nashville. It's not that far. I mean, it's closer to Memphis. Memphis is 3 hours. However, it's still a little bit of drive, so you have to factor that into the workday. So we had 2 hours, you know, there, 2 hours back. So we went down there on Friday. Y'all saw we staked out the house. We staked out the corners of the house, where each corner would be of where the foundation is going to be. So we staked out the corner of the house footprint. So we got those 4 corners placed. Y'all saw all of that, us squaring it up, measuring, all that. So we did that Friday in preparation for our subcontractors, because like I told y'all before, we do not do the work. We're a GC, so we're a general contractor. We have subcontractors that do the actual work. Not to say that we cannot do the work, we just choose not to do the work. The money is not when you have to go out there and do the actual labor. So the money come in when you just send them back, you hire the people to do it, and you're getting money off. You're getting the money off everything, and you don't have to actually do the work, but you have the knowledge. Now, the only thing about being the GC is you hold all the liability, basically. So all the subcontractors under us, we are the person that signed the contract with the client of ours, and so we hold the responsibility of the project. So that's the only thing about being the GC. However, I think that's cool. So like I said, on Friday we did that in preparation for Saturday. The next day they were supposed to come and start digging the footing. However, Saturday it started raining, and so they were not able to do it Saturday. So fast forward to Monday, which is today, they started digging, and they're going to be done with the digging and preparation of the footing to pour today. So the concrete pour is going to be tomorrow. I think it's going to be like, I think they ordered the truck for 11 a.m. because I think we had 2 trucks, because we had called one and they had called one. Theirs was 11, I think ours was 1. Either way though, no concrete will be poured if we cannot get the inspector out there. So the inspector, we already put in for an inspection of the footing. However, they wouldn't tell us a time. So their inspector is coming tomorrow, but we don't know the time. But hopefully we can get in touch with the specific inspector and we can try to get them and call them to possibly come early so that we can have them come early in the morning, approve the inspection, and that way at 12 o'clock noon we can start pouring. But I say all that to say, I decided to make this just a weekly vlog of me working as a contractor because everything is about to go like this right now. Because once they start that footing, they pour the footing, everything just don't go up. So I figured, why not, since I already had this started, why not just go ahead and go through the week with this? So you can really go bop, 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 bop. And it can really go fast if the money is there. If you have the money and the manpower, baby, you can get a project done so freaking fast. It's just exciting, and I just wanted to jump in here and update y'all on what we about to do for the rest of the week. Since I didn't get to talk to y'all earlier today before we went to Jackson, I want to get here and tell y'all what's going on. And on top of that, y'all, I saw a spider on me. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, think about it. I might be an engineer, I might like construction, I might be a contractor. I do not like bugs. So however much I do love being out in the field, I love seeing it all go up, I love seeing all the work. I was in commercial construction, I used to do a lot of the surveying and stuff, none of which have ever changed the fact that I don't like bugs. I hate them. I hate spiders, I hate bugs. I am terrified. Like, you will see me out there in the field, and if a wasp come up to me, I will lose my mind. A spider, I will lose my mind, okay? Doesn't matter how much I'm out there, I don't like the bugs. I just can't do them, okay? It's crazy because I don't like the bugs, but I do like being in. I just don't like the bugs being in the field. Like, nothing that I'll ever get used to. Now the heat is another thing, but you gotta get used to the heat, okay, at some point. And like I told y'all, when I worked in commercial, part of the project was actually the site and the exterior of it. So I was outside all day too. So I've gotten used to being outside with the heat and all that stuff. It's just the fact of the buzz. The buzz is something you just cannot get used to. I'm sorry. Well, for me, I know people that can. Some people ain't scared of bugs, don't care. I'm terrified. I just can't. I don't know what. I don't think that's ever going to change. I've always been that way since I was little. I don't like the bugs, the spiders. And I saw a spider on me that day, y'all. I was like, oh my gosh, I need to get to this house so I can shower. Like, we were outside. Y'all know the grass ain't treated. It's just, and we was all by the trees. And a bug that fell on me. Y'all, just comes with the job description though. I don't like that part of it, y'all. I don't like it. But I gotta deal with it. So I had to suck it up. Had to calm myself down because I thought I was about to have a heart attack with that freaking spider on me. Anyway, y'all, that's the gist. I will talk to y'all because I'm trying not to make this video long of me just chatting because y'all know I can chat. So I will talk back to y'all tomorrow.
All right, y'all, it is the next day. We are getting ready to go to Memphis and Jackson to start work. Well, Jackson continue work, Memphis start work. But yeah, y'all, I just grabbed a few things from the office and I'm about to get in the car and we're about to head there. So let's go. All right, y'all, we are back in Jackson. We had to go to Home Depot first to get the chairs for the rebar because they didn't have enough. But y'all, we're back on site now and we bought them the chairs. And today we are pouring the footing, y'all. So they are finishing up the setup, the prep. And that's the inspector. He's coming out to inspect. And we about to get to pouring, y'all. After they poured though, we made it back home to Nashville and we had to go look at a friend of ours' house because her floor was sinking in. So we had to get under there. We had our footing guy come out and see what the problem was. And now she's trying to figure out what she wants to decide on doing with it to fix it.
Hey y'all, so today we're about to go to an event with the Nashville Housing Fund. And I think they're just called the Housing Fund now because they're trying to expand. But they're having an event today celebrating their, I think, 30th anniversary, y'all. So we're about to head there. We're running a little bit behind, me and my mom, but my dad is actually already there. He went a little earlier, but that's because me and my mom just found out about the event. So we are about to leave the house. It's in Madison, so it should be only like 10-12 minutes away from us. So we'll get there before 12:30, so 12:20. I'm sure messed up. I think the main event is from 12 to 2, and then they have a mixer thing from 4 to 6 for the people who couldn't make it to the 12 to 2 thing. We're not going to no mixer, not that I know of. So we're about to head there.
I mean, it's not something we should be quiet about. I'm Erica Gilmore, I'm the Metropolitan Trustee, and you definitely feel a need. And you make a voice and a space for those places that are uncomfortable for people that you represent, because nobody wants to do, and you have done that. And so we really appreciate you. I worked with you when I was a council member. I worked with you as a trustee, and we were able to fill in those gaps for people that were any age that couldn't pay their property taxes. Because for tax relief, we do, you know, it's kind of a circuit break. If you're 65, people say, okay, we'll give you a break. If you're disabled, we'll give you a break. But for those that are just able-bodied, sometimes we like, make it on your own. But because of your money, you being the fiscal agent, we were able to help millions.
Housing, you say fun. Housing, fun. Housing, fun. We got Frida in the house. Where's Frida? Frida's been around for like oh, there she is. Frida's been around for like 28 of those 30 years, representing. Angela and Candace been around and have done some great things over the years, and they couldn't have been possible without all of you being involved. To our investors, to our friends, to our partners, to our staff, to everybody, thank you for supporting us for 30 years.
The Housing Fund is a CDFI, Community Development Financial Institution, which allows us to be more creative in the financial instruments it can provide to underserved populations.
Since the inception of the Housing Fund, we've always seen our role as trying to step in where there's gaps and to try to find creative solutions to leverage resources, private and public resources. I would say in the years that I've been on the board, the gaps have only gotten greater, so it's challenging.
We are one of the fastest growing metropolitan complexes in America, and there is risk. There's risk of losing your home to gentrification. There's risk of not participating if you're a part of the poor or marginalized populations in Nashville.
We're in a great market, but we're in a market that's higher than most people can afford. So it's almost as though in this city, you can't have a conversation about affordable housing without the Housing Fund being involved.
The Nashville Housing Fund was actually an outgrowth of Nashville's agenda. And that was sort of a community-wide priority setting process that started in the mid-1990s, and out of that came 21 goals for the 21st century. One of those 21 goals centered around the availability of affordable housing. After the housing meltdown of 2007, 2008, we thought that the worst possible thing was behind us, but no. And so on May 1st, May 2nd, we got 2,000-year floods 2 days in a row. There's an interesting rule in the CDFI regulations that allowed us to serve a whole area so long as 51% were low and moderate income. And that allowed us to actually administer and provide funds for people who were literally underwater.
That was a great example of us bending over backwards to help people to be able to stay on their home they grew up with. Because for some people, just spending $2,000-3,000 on repairs can mean the difference between living in a house and having to abandon it. So I'm very proud of all the multi-faceted work the fund has done over the years, not only to help people stay in their homes, but to create new opportunities for people to live in the city.
I think it's a tough business because it's a complex problem. Maintaining, preserving affordable housing in a growing city where values are increasing, where you do have population growth, where you have job growth in and around the core, it creates an environment that people want to be in, but it also displaces families, homeowners who have been here, and it's hard to maintain that.
All right, y'all, it's the next day. I'm getting dressed real quick because first, on the to-do list, we have to take my little baby to the vet because she has to get some vaccinations. And then when we get back, we have a meeting with a realtor at 11. And then I also have to send off some paperwork for school. If you don't know, I'm supposed to be going back to school in August to get my doctorate in engineering and computational science. So I have to fill out for some scholarship application stuff. So I need to do that today. Honestly, the deadline is next week. So I'm pushing it. And then tomorrow, y'all, we're going back to Jackson because they're doing the blocks for the foundation. So yeah.
Fav and I own a construction company. Come spend the day with me. We're back out at the Jackson job site today. The block was delivered yesterday, so our footing crew is getting started on laying it. We're overseeing that, but first we had to make a few runs for materials. We needed anchor bolts and foundation vents because our original order showed up incomplete. Now y'all, coming from Nashville, I was already a little thrown off by there only being one main Home Depot in Jackson, but then we got there and they didn't even have the freaking anchor bolts we needed. So after that, we ended up making 2 stops at 2 different Lowe's, but we got everything and made it back to site. But be sure to come back for episode 4 because that's when we start framing. Also, don't forget to check out my YouTube where I'm doing a series called Contractor Diaries. Baby, I look a hot diggity mess, a hot mess. But y'all, I got our meeting time confused. Well, I didn't get it confused. They didn't update me on the switch. That's really what it was, okay? So today we're out here, we're looking at a house that we have on contract right now that we're going to close on soon. So we wanted to go walk through it. This house is in Nashville. I told y'all we're not doing a lot of work in Nashville, but we ran across this house. It's really close to downtown Nashville. The price is really good and it's still really, we're just waiting for that closing date to be confirmed. We also are looking at another lot that's close by. Yeah, y'all, we just riding around looking at lots and houses and properties with the realtor that we're working with. And so yeah, y'all, that's what we're up to today. Get a call for the dog.
Oh, look, the green, that's the colors they used to use back in the day.
I hate carpet.
Whoever stayed here definitely was here so long. Look, baby, but they had some cameras. What they doing that they didn't get? Look, they were checking everybody.
Alright y'all, I'm going through and taking pictures now. I took videos first. We need to take pictures so we can send it to the guy who's probably going to finance this for us. Man, they had a different color in every single room. Every single room a different color, y'all. But that's crazy. We got green, light blue, dark blue. You got tan, the other room was pink. But honestly, y'all, the location of this in Nashville, you know anything about Nashville, it's real estate. This is a good little steal. Even if you knock this whole thing down and do your own thing, this location wise is amazing. And the backyard and all of that, I mean, this is crazy. So we want a burger. Tell your granny. Say burger, brown, burger. That's a lot better. Y'all, look at my baby. She riding with us today. She's been riding with us everywhere we go lately, so this is not new. Say you a car dog now. You be riding. For the podcast, y'all, the podcast was so freaking good yesterday. I am so glad I asked this. I'm so glad I asked this person. And it's not even a person that I'm really close to or no. She just did my hair one time and I loved it. Yeah, the podcast is really good. I'm so glad I asked her because, like I said, it's nobody that I'm just close with. She's done my hair twice and I just felt like she would be a good person to, you know, come have this discussion. I was looking for somebody in the beauty industry because I wanted to have non-traditional roles as real broadcasted on the podcast. I don't want it to just be all lawyers, doctors, you know. So she owns her own hair business and I was like, you know what? I feel like she has a great personality and she was so excited, y'all, about doing it, which is one thing. Like a lot of people I ask and stuff, they seem like, oh cool, I'll do it, it's a great opportunity, but they don't feel excited about doing it. Not as excited as I am about having them, you know, be the guest. So I just love that it was my energy and excitement about it was reciprocated, and we're also the same age, and it was just a really good conversation, and she was a great person to have on the podcast. So I'm really excited. By this point, when y'all see this, which is probably gonna be weeks away, y'all need to go check out the podcast episode because it'll be up tomorrow. I'm actually about to go home after we do this, finish up this and edit. I'm gonna be editing probably for the rest of the day. I started earlier, but my freaking camera is crashing. I don't know, we gotta figure something out because I said I'm posting every other Wednesday and tomorrow will be Wednesday and it's a Wednesday that I'm supposed to post. So So I'm going to spend the rest of the day, like I said, editing. I want a burger. Bruh, we had this burger like last week from Honey Fire Barbecue here in Nashville. It's actually in Bellevue, but that's what I want.